Today we have amongst us Ms. Zara Mahbub, Chief Executive Officer of Dun & Bradstreet Data and Analytics Private Limited. I would like to warmly welcome our chief guest, Ms. Zara Jabeen Mahbub, to come forward and deliver her speech.
There you go. We need energy. Because you know what? This is it. This is where you start your life's journey. অনেকে বলবেন আমরা স্কুলে শুরু করেছি, আমরা বাবা মার বাসায় শুরু করেছি। Actually, this is it. এই ফিলিংটা আসছে? Do you have butterflies in your stomach? Yes? তো আসছে। And are we nervous? Professor Rahman, thank you so much for having me. Lieutenant Colonel Faizul Islam, thank you so much. When Imran Bhai called me and said, Zara, we're having an orientation session and we want, উনি শেষ করতে পারেননি, আমি ভেবেছি উনি আমাকে বলছেন একটা চিফ গেস্টের সাজেশন দিতে। তারপর যখন উনি আমাকে বললেন যে যারা তুমি এসে কথা বলবে, I had butterflies in my stomach because I wake up every day to meet young people because you're my vitamin and you are the energy that I will take back with me today and go for the rest of the year. So I need a little more energy. Thank you. Sorry, আমি podium-এর পিছে দাঁড়িয়ে কথা বলতে পারি না। একটু my rock star inside comes out. But I'm very out of tune, so that's why I could not pursue that particular profession. So I need some energy from all of you as we speak. And what I will do is I will just throw you a few examples of how I grew up and how what Rehan Bhai said about me came to being. So the first and foremost for me was continuously ask questions. I was a child growing up in a Muslim, liberal, joint family, 17 cousins having meals together, family members, Abbara Paj Bhai Paj Bon, Dadi, and then we had houses around her home. And we grew up in Mogbajar. Rashai House is the name of the community I grew up in, the family. And there were, there were set sort of ideologies. Girls grow up, they, some of them play sports when they're in school a little bit. Then they, learn cooking. They learn how to do embroidery, and then they go become teachers, stuff like that. So I got up and I said, I want to play football. So many years, para chelera mone korto Zara ekta chele. I used to have short hair, I used to play football, I was in the para cricket team, I was the 11th man. They never wanted me. But football, they wanted me as the goalkeeper because I'm skirt pore ekbar ball atkate shubida hoto. And then when I turned about 14, my mother, by the way, is Sileti. So she said, Ya Allah, tai jane o na tai je maiya. So then I went into, there was a Dia fashion agency, Nasreen Karim. She basically said, no, she's going to be good. And Ammu said, Khemne, tai dekhso ni, tai akteo jane na. And then while my friends were going to coaching and preparing for O-levels, আমি 6টা বই মাথায় নিয়ে হাঁটা শিখছি ওনার বাসায় because Nasreen Karim was the founder of Dia Fashion Agency and she wanted to have that My Fair Lady challenge with my mom. Sure enough, কিছুদিন পরে Sarah Zakir auntie and Asaduzzahman Noor uncle, they discovered me and they made me model. And Nasreen Khala, she made me model on the ramp. And my friends were like, is that you? Are you sure এটা তুই? তুই না ফুটবল খেলিস আমাদের সাথে? I said, you know what? One can do it. But modeling at 15 was challenging. People said things about you that you couldn't even dream of. So what I learned at the very onset of my life was you ask questions, you do different things, and when people talk about you, you do the things anyway. As long as you know what you're doing is in line with what you want to do forever. Thank you. It's important to have your stakeholders on board. This is something you're going to learn in the business school, stakeholder management. Your parents, your family members, your friends, people who enable you, people who give you wings. Pick a few. I'm sure you've come this far with some of those enablers. I had a pupa who said, Zara ja ichha korte parbe. He's actually the founding VC of University of Asia Pacific, Mr. Shahid Ahmed. People were upset যে জারাকে উনি সব কিছু পারমিশন দেয়। যারা বাইরে গিয়ে এরশাদ বিরোধী আন্দোলনও করেছে, 1991 মিছিল করছে, 15-16 বছরের একটা মেয়ে কেন মিছিলে যাচ্ছে? যাক না, করছে তো, ওর তো পড়ালেখা ক্ষতি হচ্ছে না। সো পড়ালেখাটাকে কনস্ট্যান্ট রেখে I was doing everything possible. I was very lucky because my parents also allowed me. আমার আম্মা তো আমাকে পারে ঠেলে মডেল বানায় বিকজ আমি তো টম বয় ছিলাম। আমি কখনো পাশের বাসায় গেট দিয়ে ঢুকতাম না, আমি দেয়াল টপকে যেতাম। I was chased around the neighborhood because আমি আম চুরি করতাম। আমরা চাঁপাইনবাবগঞ্জে, সো আমাদের বাসার আম থেকে কাঁচা আম পাড়া নিষেধ ছিল। সো পাশের বাসার আমগুলো গিয়ে চুরি করে আনতাম, মানে বড় করে আনতাম, ফেরত দেওয়া হতো না আর কি। সো এটার জন্য মানে দৌড় খেতাম, নটি ছিলাম, কন্টিনিউয়াসলি নটি ছিলাম। সো এই স্পিরিটটা এখনো চলে যায়নি। গত সপ্তাহে পূজা উপলক্ষে সেজে গুজে আমি আমার শ্বশুরের কাছে যাই। উনি খুব রবীন্দ্রিক, সো হি লাভস হিজ কলকাতার সব সিরিয়াল। উনি ওনার রবীন্দ্রসঙ্গীত গান শুনেন, মার্শাল্লাহ হিজ 91। আর উনি ওনার 91st বার্থডে 5 দিন আগেও রবীন্দ্রসঙ্গীতের ক্লাস করেছেন। সো আমি ওনার কাছে যখন যাই, গিয়ে দেখি উনি আমার সাজগোজ নিয়ে খুব একটা কিছু বলছেন না। তো আমি বললাম, পাপা দেখেন আমি সেজে এসছি। He looked at me and he said, okay. I said, no, this is not him. He's not well. And I went and called my mother-in-law and I said, Ammo, he's not complimenting me. Tamani, he's not well. No, he's become, Zara, he's old, he's tired, relaxing. Sure enough, it turned out that he suffered a cardiac arrest. So I rushed into the hospital and that's when I found out that he was extremely unwell. So as we speak, my father-in-law is on a ventilator. But I have come here today because of the commitment I made to Imran Bhai and to gain and take back some energy from all of you so that I can go and give him. The reason I share this story is you all have entered a new phase of your life. This is it, as I said earlier. This is the beginning. This is when you will make your dream happen. And you may think, oh, Zara had a very supportive family. Zara had everything going for her. Trust me, at 15, when I modeled and heard scary stories about myself, it did not seem like an easy world. So if you have not challenged yourself yet and learned to sustain that challenge, you have not begun your journey. এখানে আমরা কতজন আছি যারা হিউম্যানিটিস পড়তে এসেছি? Was it an easy ride to explain to your family that you're going to study humanity? Oh, impossible. If your father is an engineer, humanities, what? Are you serious? Yes. So there you go. You have passed the first test of your life. You have selected what you want to study. For many of you, you will say, gosh, I am an electrical engineer. I will graduate as an electrical engineer and then I will work for 20 years in engineering and then one fine day I will wake up and I will say I want to become a stand-up comedian. I have seen that happen in my house. Mr. Naveed Mahbub suddenly woke up one day and said, Zara, you know what? I'm not an engineer anymore. It can happen. Keep that flexibility in your mind. But don't think what you're studying today is not going to be of use. Whatever you do today is going to help you in your future. Remember that. That is extremely important. That should be a core belief in your system. Therefore, when Amrita shared, go join all the clubs, participate in the seminars, be heard, do what you want to do, dream, Continue to dream, because that is what keeps us going every single day. People say hope. Yes, hope and dream together with a lot of diligent consistency. Ehan bhai amake bolen how much time I have, because I don't want to put everybody to sleep. 10 minutes more. So, okay. It's hard to wrap up 25 years of work in 10 minutes, but I'll try. So I was in Assumption University. I had finished 96 credits. And I suddenly got a call that Abba is not well, I need to come to Bangladesh. And I came and found that Abba had a heart attack. That was his first heart attack, 1997. So I transferred to North South because there were 50 people working for Abba in our buying house, and I had to work full time to sustain that business. And when I went and asked my mother, Ma, what do I do with my graduation? She said, everything else is on pause until Abba regains his health and comes back to the office. It's on you now. And I said, I don't know the B of buying house. How am I going to run it? She said, you figure it out. Go. কত বছর করেছি ইউনিভার্সিটি? I said 96 credits, almost 3 বছর। পারবে। এতদিন বিবিএ করে যদি না বুঝো কি হবে? So she took Abba and went off for his recovery, and I enrolled in North South, 96 credits. For those of you who have already completed 96 credits, I got 63 credits. 33 of them were slashed because ওই সাবজেক্টগুলো North South এ তখনও ছিল না। So I enrolled in North South, and I took 1 extra year to graduate, 98. By then, Abba had, mashallah, recovered, and I was a ready-made buying house merchandiser, so on-the-job training. So adaptability is important. That's what I feel. Tarpor I met Naveed Mahbub, and I went and told the family that I would actually like to marry him because he's not married even now. I liked him when I was a young teenager, but of course he's a little senior to me, so kono patta kokhono denni. And then Naveed said, oh gosh, it's Zara again. And I said, yes. And I said, you know what, Naveed, nobody has married you yet, so I think you have to end up with me. And he was so confused. And my mother-in-law, my aunt and uncle, and everybody in the family, they were like, oh gosh, this Zara strikes again. So I got married to Naveed, moved to Michigan, and there was no buying house in Michigan. There was no garment industry for Bangladesh and Michigan. So I enrolled in the IT classes there. I learned to do Unix programming, and I found that it was not red nail polish or red lipstick enough for me. I'm a talker. I need to go sell stuff. So I did halfway between, I became a web developer, and that continued until 2005, when we became pregnant with our first child, and I enrolled into UC Berkeley's Haas School of Business for my master's. So I lived in San Diego, and I would fly every week to do class. And we did that for a quarter. Naveed and I both got in. By the way, I did my GMAT 5 times. Just to give you an idea of consistency and grit. I do not like standardized exams, and that is probably why I did not go to the US in the first place, because I'm SATs dibona. That was my thought. But then when it came to top schools in the US or business schools in the US, you have to do your GMAT. Then I started doing the commuter MBA along with Naveed, and the 4.5-month-old baby strapped to me. The babysitter would come, pick us up, drop us to class, and then end of the day would pick us back up, drop us to the airport, and would bring the baby back to San Diego, and then we would go to some bhabis places to have dawats. Naveed said, Zara, stop, let me pursue something I like, and you go ahead and take care of the baby girl when you're studying, and you continue this, you finish this. So MBA shesh korar pore we went for Hajj, 2008 December, then we came back to Bangladesh. And I looked at the parents and I said, you know what? I don't want to be in America anymore. I want to come to Bangladesh. The idea was to open a comedy club, live in Bangladesh close to the parents so that my children would grow up the way I grew up, collective upbringing. Because everything said and done, it takes a village to raise a child. And America, I thought with all the things I had planned, I wouldn't be able to do it alone. And you know what? It's okay not to be able to do something on your own. It's okay to ask for help. Imran Bhai mentioned that there are counseling services here. It's okay to go and talk to a counselor. Because everything said and done, it's you that you're protecting and you who needs the support. So take it. This is very important. I see one or two hands clapping in the back. Go ahead, you can clap. But the reason I say this is because আমাদেরকে বলা হয় ছোটবেলা থেকে নিজে করো আরে বাবা আমি নিজে পারি না আমাকে শিখাই দেন আর আমি যদি না পারি আমাকে হেল্প করেন আমি আজ পর্যন্ত গান গাইতে পারিনি আমি হ্যাপি বার্থডে টিউনে গেতে পারি না and this is my biggest regret যে আমি গান গেতে পারি না but you know what I can dance well and I can thank you but that's not a career I could pursue because of practical reasons. So 2008, Hajjar Pore, we came back to Bangladesh and I went and interviewed at a telco and at a bank. And at the bank, the person who interviewed me, the managing director at the time, seemed dangerous. And I said, you know what, I want this. I love this. He's horrible. He's scary. I just want to work with him and see what I can do. And I was always afraid of finance. But luckily, কেন জানি আমি ফাইন্যান্সে ঢুকিনি ব্যাংকে I got into relationship management and premium banking. I've been a customer service specialist for my life, for my entire life, since 97. And then 10 years, almost 10 years, Abba decided to have another heart attack. And then when he had the second heart attack, I was in between jobs. Because তার কিছুদিন আগে, October 26th, 2018, my sister's husband suddenly crashed. He suddenly died in a fire accident just within an hour. We had weekend plans, but he passed away leaving a 4-year-old and a 10-month-old child. And that's overnight, my life changed from 3 children of our own to 5. And I decided that, you know what, I need to make a career switch. I need to step up. So that desire for me to step up and be more responsible towards my family, I joined Kazi IT Center as a CEO. Once again, back in the IT field, but this was not pure IT, this was business process outsourcing. Kazi IT continues to be the largest inward earning remittance IT company in Bangladesh today. But ব্র্যাক ব্যাংকের গল্প যদি বলি এই ব্র্যাক ব্যাংকে বিভিন্ন ডিপার্টমেন্টে আমাকে কাজ করতে হয়েছে and what was interesting was I continuously learned and the value inculcation happened then. That was my breakthrough because not every person in the world can say that they spent 10 years under the leadership of Sarfaraz Hassan Abid. So that is when we learned that there are few things in life that matter. Whether you go to sleep at night with a smile on your face is important. What you're doing at the end of the day, if it makes you happy and gives you a warm and fuzzy feeling in your heart, is important. Whether or not you're impacting the world, is important. So they believe in a 3P philosophy: people, planet, and prosperity. You will be surprised to know it's one of the top 3 banks in the country, and it does not do business with certain industries. It doesn't do business with shipbreaking. It does not do business with tobacco. So pick what you want to do today. Think about your philosophy, because after you graduate, the company you choose, or the career you choose, or the life you choose, is going to determine how you go to bed at night. It's extremely important. I was always afraid of data. Always extremely terrified of data and finances. And look, the name has data analytics in it. This is probably my last job, hopefully. And at this age, I'm learning how to analyze data all over again. So having survived the pandemic, a new company, all I can do is be grateful. It's extremely important to be grateful every day. When we were growing up, we didn't have a private university like this. Look at the field. I'm just smiling at the green. It's important to wake up in the morning and smile at yourself when you're brushing your teeth. When you're putting that lipstick on, or when you're combing your hair or shaving, or however you're getting ready. Seize the day. Every single day is an opportunity. All of us have survived a pandemic. Not everybody in here, we've had a loss during this pandemic. Each and every one of us have had a loss in this pandemic. There's been learnings, there's been adaptability. And the pandemic has taught us to be humble. যে আমরা কিছু গ্রান্টেড নিতে পারবো না। পরশুদিন আমাকে একজন জিজ্ঞেস করছেন, how long have you been married to Navid bhai? I said 24 years, alhamdulillah. And they said, oh wow, cool, you've got it done. I said, absolutely not. My in-laws have been married almost 60 years and they work at it every single day. We can't take anything for granted. And we saw COVID do that to us, right? So gratefulness, along with humility and adaptability, are the three key things that we can take with us. And since you're beginning today, this is how you're going to do it. As Imran Bhai said, you have your cell phones. It's a user-friendly cell phone, the user-friendly technology. The user has to be friendly and smart as well. You have to use your mind. খুঁজবো সত্য ছিল তো আমাদের গানের ট্যাগলাইন। সত্যির পিছে আমাদেরকে যেতে হবে, সত্যর পিছে আমাদেরকে যেতে হবে কন্টিনিউয়াসলি। কোয়েশ্চেন, স্ট্যাটাস কোতে আমরা কখনো থাকবো না। কিছু ভালো লাগছে না, এটাকে কোয়েশ্চেন করেন। You have a series of wonderful teachers who will be your mentors for the next 4 years. So seize the day. Every single day, start your day with a smile. It's not easy. It's not easy. কারণ সবাই হয়তো এসি গাড়িতে করে এত দূর আসি না আমরা ক্লাস করতে। But you know what? আমরা তো ক্লাস করতে আসতে পারছি, আলহামদুলিল্লাহ. So there's a lot to be thankful for, continuously. And every single day, go back. Look at your parents, look at your partners, look at those who enable you. For those of us who have parents, go hug them, thank them for letting you be here today. For whoever has enabled you to come this far, that is your partner for the rest of your life to support you in your dreams. Trust me, when you graduate out of electrical engineering and you say you want to be that stand-up comedian, they will be your partner then. You have to sell it to them. ওটার জন্য একটু business class-এ যেতে হবে, marketing classes নিতে হবে, because at the end of the day, when I come home at 2 o'clock, my mother-in-law is sitting with a cup of Horlicks for me. And people tell me, you're so lucky that, your mother-in-law understands. I said, yes, my mother-in-law understands. But day in and day out, when a daughter-in-law walks in at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. from work or from a work dinner, from a conference, she's gone, tinta bacha phele diye for 5-6 days. It takes a little bit of selling as well. You have to make them your partners. They have to be your success circle. It's very important to have a success circle. When you get your first salary, when you get a job and you get your first salary, or whatever you do and you get a little bit of earning, share it. Take back for those who love you and those who enable you. Very important. And never burn bridges. Even if you have a love life and it's not working out, don't burn the bridge. You don't know if you'll be working for her someday or you'll be working for him someday. Professional setting you. So never burn bridges. It's extremely important. And most important, accept each other with however different we may seem to be. Liberal arts school, and this is where the ideology of differences and secularism and acceptance stems from. This is the birthplace of that. You're very lucky because no one will judge you. If you ever feel threatened, if you ever feel disrespected, if you ever feel that somebody has made you feel different, voice it. Absolutely, have the strength to voice it. Because I have not been, I've always been a square peg in a round hole, always. I've never fitted with the stereotypes. I've always questioned the status quo. I'm not saying I've done something amazing, but end of the day, I smile when I go to sleep. And that's what's most important. Thank you.